Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the analysis of YOLENO TV. I hope you're well from wherever you're watching this channel. Now, I'd like us to quickly visit this story of the UNGA auditorium. There's a common saying that pictures don't lie. Based on the picture on your screen, it is clear that when RUTO was delivering his statement, there are several heads of state who decided to walk out or were not part and parcel of that audience. Now, this matter has been talked about by a number of YouTubers, but then there's a statement that Saboti Member Parliament delivered, that is Caleb Amisi, regarding the same situation that has forced me to revisit this story of the UNGA auditorium. Now, RUTO was delivering his keynote address.
The 80th anniversary of the United Nations. Africa also marks 20 years since the Ezulwini Consensus and the City Declaration. The two historic...
Then unfortunately, or fortunately, that is a scenario that we saw, whereby there were empty seats. Then there's another video, separate video, disturbing one, where the delegation of Kenyan delegation was seen to be eating.
We must need a strong United Nations. The organization faces its deepest crisis in credibility and
people have been saying that walikuwa nakula njugu at the time when RUTO was giving some this kind of addresses. So based on the video on your screen, just check that video. That is what was happening. That is a delegation of the Kenyan delegation who had accompanied the president. Now let's get back to Caleb Amisi. And Caleb Amisi is claiming that the president's foreign policy missteps, compounded by corruption and governance issues at home, are undermining Kenya's image on the international stage. Now, Caleb Amisi has weighed on reports that William RUTO was allegedly sidelined by fellow African leaders during his visit to the United States for the UNGA session. And you've all followed I believe some of you have been following what is happening there. There was Trump's address, which was a bit controversial, and so many other addresses there. But I'd like us to focus on Caleb Amisi's remarks, bordering around the fact that people walked out on William Samoei Ruto. But before we escalate this story on the statement from Caleb Amisi, ladies and gentlemen, kindly take this opportunity, support the work we do on this channel by liking this video, subscribe to our channel if you are not subscribed before, and to our existing subscribers, thank you so much for your support. So according to Caleb Amisi, the diplomatic setbacks facing William Ruto's administrations are a direct result of what he described as a convoluted foreign policy, excessive corruption, arrogance, murder, and abductions of young people, and a know-it-all attitude. Caleb argued that Kenya, once a respected player in continental diplomacy, is now facing credibility challenges that make it harder to build consensus with African peers. He went further to point out that Ruto's heavy focus on foreign trips, often marked as opportunities to build economic partnership, has yet to translate into tangible results for ordinary Kenyans. In fact, according to Caleb Amisi, he says that instead, the president's government is increasingly associated with domestic scandals, unexplained disappearance of youth, and a style of leadership that dismisses criticisms rather than addressing it. He again suggested that other African leaders may be hesitant to associate closely with RUTO due to concerns over governance and transparency. So if you look at the statements that are coming from Caleb Amisi, there's the issue of corruption, there's the issue of forceful disappearances. there's the issue of abductions, then there's the issue of the know-it-all attitude of William Ruto. So let's say, for example, those are the grounds why the African heads of state decided to skip William Ruto's address. If those are the reasons why, then I think the president is going to face some harsh reality going into the future. Let's look at a possibility where Ruto survives until 2027. Of course, we know he's going to survive until 2027. But let's take, for example, a possibility where that happens. It means Ruto will be the kind of sidelining that will be experienced between now and 2027 will be too much for him to bear. If he is sidelined internationally and he is sidelined locally here, then that means the king shall have been exposed. I'm looking at a scenario where even Trump is not going to give William Ruto that listening ear.
The two historic milestones that establishes the common African position as we mark the 80th anniversary of the United Nations. Africa also marks 20 years since the Ezulwini Consensus and the City Declaration. Then
Ruto is headed for a very, very serious shock going into the future. So, ladies and gentlemen, kindly go below on the comment section and tell us what you think about the criticism coming from Caleb Amisi. Because according to Caleb Amisi, he maintains that unless governance improves at home, Kenya risks losing both its moral authority and leadership role in Africa. There's the issue of RSF. There's the issue of Somali. All these things, if you look at them conclusively, then you realize that they can be a reason for Kenya's problems with the international entities. So, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to rest my case there, but just go below in the comment section and tell us what you think about this latest development. So perhaps if you're watching this video and you've not subscribed, take 1 second and subscribe, like this video. Until you catch up again, stay safe and stay blessed.